Hey guys, this video is about a very special 38EL, and it's completely different than other videos we've done in the past. What's really cool about this video is that it is a showcase of a bike, like the others, but this bike has 8,000 miles on it, and has tons of memories and tons of pictures and stories to go with it. So I hope you enjoy it. It's a little bit different than the other ones. Thanks for watching. So this 38 belongs to one of my best friends, my friend Scott from Kentucky. I have wanted to do this video for probably a year, and we've cleaned the bike up a few times. Then we go and ride it and have fun with it, and it gets dirty, and then we just wait till later. We finished this bike up a few years ago. It is built to ride, it's built to use. It is so much fun. The bike has just about 7,000 miles on it now. And he's come to road runs with us. We rode out to California together when I delivered another bike, and we have just had the most fun riding pre-war knuckleheads together. It's like a family bike, you know, just built with as much heart and soul as we can, which is kind of how we build every bike. He wanted a pre-war knucklehead that he could ride and use and thrash on, and wanted to do some touches to make it his own. 38 is kind of a cool year. It's the first year for enclosed rocker arms. It has heavily reinforced frame. It has a wider cross member down at the seat post. It has a welded on brake stay. The forgings for the axle plates are bigger. It's just a continuation and evolution of sorting out the problems that they had with 36 and 37. Probably the most striking thing on this, besides the colors, is the paint layout. A little backstory on that. There was an Instagram account that I followed maybe 10 years ago, and the guy had a lot of cool old parts. He had a guy running the account for his business, and this guy would post pictures of parts that he had collected over the years. And one of the cool parts that he had was a set of overhead valve single cylinder racing tanks that's very like peanut shaped, and it had a cutout on the bottom for clearance for the engine. And it was painted with a 33 paint job like this, with the bird and the basic Harley Davidson and the fancy striping. I mean, it's really beautiful. In the picture, with the way it was lit, it looked like the tanks were painted Venetian Blue and Nile Green. So I sent that picture to Scott and I said, you would never think that blue and green would look good together. But look at how awesome this is and how beautiful it is. And we both fell in love with it, and he decided to paint his bike blue and green. If this wouldn't have worked, he would have gone with a silver bike. I'm glad he chose Nile Green and Venetian Blue. I think it's a beautiful color combination. Something that happened in the last year, my friend Matt Waxler at the Wheels Through Time Museum was able to get the gas tanks that were in the picture that I mentioned. I asked a mutual friend of the guy that owned them to try to get the tanks because Matt had the bike but needed the tanks. Anyways, there's a whole video on it. I'll post a link in the comments. Matt was able to do some horse trading, and he got the gas tanks that we used as inspiration for this paint job. And the funniest thing is that he got the tanks, and they weren't Venetian Blue and Nile Green, they were black and Nile Green. It must have been the lighting in the old picture from 10, 12 years ago that made it look like blue. You know, this blue is a very dark, rich blue, and in some lighting it looks black. So I don't know if Scott and I saw what we wanted to see in the picture, or if it was the lighting, or what the deal was, but it was kind of cool and kind of funny. So anyways, that's the story. This bike has original fenders, original tanks, original dash cover. I wired it up so that the Speedo light comes on when you turn on the headlight. So we welded up the hole here like a 36. It just kind of makes it look cooler. I always thought the lever was kind of weird that they used in 37 and 38. So it was nice to do something a little different. We put 36 frog eyes on it. I found an original one of these when I was at Wauseon when I was in high school, and we had some made up, and they're just really cool. This has the original 38 oil pump with the short oil sending unit and the special body. This bike has 19-inch rims, which kind of gear it up and make it go a little faster. I had to have special wheel rings made for that, and to this date, you know, 5-6 years later, I haven't sold a set of them. So if you need 19-inch wheel rings, I'm your guy, but I doubt I'll sell any. He wanted to have Flanders Bars. They kind of put your hands up a little bit higher and are more comfortable. I think these are 4.5-inch risers. These little discs in here are made by a company named Owl Motorcycle in Japan. They use really soft rubber bushings in here. So like when you're pushing it, it goes up, and then you pull it and it goes down. We've put a sidecar fender light on the front of the fender. This was the NOS cover that I gave him. That's original factory chrome, which is still in perfect shape. Bike has original step tubs, square crash bar. He wanted to kind of doll it up a little bit, and we nickel plated the brake and clutch levers. The muffler is a stainless steel muffler that I made up just for this bike. This was the first full stainless steel stock muffler that I ever made. We nickel plated the air cleaner, the handlebars. It's just a really beautiful, fun bike. I love it so much. This has an earlier 38 fork on it. The grease zerks are on the inside, and you can see how hard it is to get in there and grease them. So here is the left side of the bike. You can see that it is just as striking and bright as the right side. The paint job was done by John Dills in North Carolina, and I think Mark Peters did the striping on it, and he did a really good job. I'm really happy with it. It's held up well over the years. We converted the bike to 12 volts. It has a cycloelectric generator and an Andrews shovelhead style coil. This is a really good setup and a nice improvement for dependability. When you're out traveling and doing long distance on bikes, and if you have battery or headlight problems, you want to be able to find something that you can put in the bike, and you just can't get 6-volt parts anymore. No 6-volt bulbs, no 6-volt batteries. And this coil was used for a long time, and you can find one at any shop or on an old bike. So it also has a halogen H4 headlight bulb, which is really cool. You can pick those up at any Napa store if you have headlight problems. One of the cool styling upgrades we did was put a 36 shift arm and gate on it, which is just a little bit more finished and expensive and fun looking compared to the stamped steel ones that were used in 38. The bike has a belt drive in the primary. We use a special combination that gears it up in there, which makes it go faster and keep the RPMs down. But since it's geared up in the primary, the Speedo still reads right. This bike has an original 37 Speedo face, which is the nicest one we've ever had. It's not right for 38, but it's such an awesome piece and such a cool representation of what the color looked like. It's neat to have it on this bike. One of the other parts we put on it was this steering dampener lever, which is actually an early 36 style. I've made these for quite a while, and they're really expensive to make. It's kind of extravagant compared to later ones. I just like the way it looks, so I threw one on here. I made the luggage rack for this bike out of stainless steel, and we had plans to polish it, but we never did, and just have it on the bike. And it's really a smart setup. On these Buns, I just drilled and tapped them, and then I have Allen studs that go in there, and that tightens up against the rod, and then we have a lock nut that holds it into the fender. And it works really good. We had this pad made for his girlfriend. They go 2-up on this thing all the time on road runs, and it's just a really fun bike that served its purpose well, and it's exactly what I want. I want people having fun and enjoying them and using them. On these heads, I forgot that we had done this. We put primer cups in them just to kind of doll it up and flash up this side. These were early 38 heads with the heavy reinforcement and then still drilled and tapped here. When I put these on, they're just for show. I actually silicone bronze up the hole inside the head so that if this ever unscrews or falls out, we don't have to worry about the bike sucking in air and running lean. So yeah.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe, and we'll see you out on the road.